Hello, hello. Can you see me okay? Let me see. Hang on a second. Hey, BB. Uh, uh, Clyde and Inkart, you guys, can everyone hear me okay? Oh, good. Okay. I, okay, great. Oh, good. Um, what I wanted to do today is to talk about those of you who may be interested. Hey, Tim, in making your own watches. And for a lot of reasons, a lot of people saying, "Hey, that sounds like fun." Well, the best part about making your own watches is that it's really inexpensive. It is cheaper probably than the cheapest watch you have, and you can make a lot better watch with it too. So I don't. I was going to wear one of my watches that I made, but I don't have one. The one I had, I sent off, and uh, the other one is promised to somebody already. And but anyway, we can talk a little about it. And but what I'd really like to do is to get feedback from you guys. Hi, Paul. Um, and so that so we can have a real discussion. Now, the name of the organization is a French term for the Society of Pretentious Watchmakers. I thought that would be a great hobbyist name, and but in French, it's even more pretentious. And with my Pepe Le Pew outfit on today, it's just I'm really topping out on that. So anyhow, um, so let's talk about this, and let's just talk about some of the resources. Now, some of you have already, if you've made a watch, let me know. Raise your hand or give a thumbs up or something. How many of you made a watch before? How many of you made your own watch out of parts? Yeah, John, I'm not going to reassemble or disassemble my Parmigiani. By the way, too, this is one thing. We don't want to touch our really good watches. We really don't. Those we leave for somebody else. The only ones that I would be interested in even trying something with one of these guys where they sneak in an ETA and charge you $5,000 for the watch. Then you might be able to poke around with that. Um, One of the most useful things you can have is a pegwood stick because these are non poking. Paul, listen, I doubt you're any more ham fisted than I am. So it just, you get a pair of tweezers and stuff, and, you can hang on to it. And the most important part about it is taking it nice and slow. Um, and it just sort of, one of your glycines. I don't know what's in Tim. What's inside of your glycines? What kind of movements do they have? Maybe Oh, they have an ETA movement. Okay, that might be something. I like the ones with the big ETA movements in because, like Paul suggested, being ham-fisted. I'm the same way, and with some of these little bitty watches, you can lose stuff. And but a bigger ETA is a little easier to work with, but you can work with some of the smaller ones. Unitas, yeah, right. Unitas is another one good, Clyde. Um, what you can do, I have a bunch of Unitas. Let me show you my Unitas, or my Unitas clones. Even better, start with a Unitas clone. Actually, other than a broken one that I broke, I don't have any Unitas clones right now, I don't think. Um, Let me see. Yeah, this is a broken one. This is one I busted. Um, this was a $30 Siegel ST36 is what they are, and they're the same thing as a either, well, I think you can get two types. One is for the 6497 and the other one's for the 6498. Both ETAs, both Unitas. So when I talk about those and I talk about that kind of one, I also include these ST30s. They're really great movements, actually. For 30 bucks rather than 100 bucks or something like that, they're pretty good deals. I'm trying to see, I know where it is. The one that some of the things that you get, here's my right here. This is one I'm working on now, and it goes with this. I got one that had a brass, the brass one, the brass movement, not a brass case. This is the one I'm working on right now with it, and this is a real ETA 6498. You need a 6498. And these are great movements, and I probably shouldn't be handling them with my fingers. That's really not good form. I should use these little finger cots or gloves or hold it by the stem like this. But these are great. And even better though, I think when you first get started, get a hold of ST36 because they're a lot cheaper. They're built the same, and you can learn from them the same. Okay. All right. Okay, but let's see, who is a lousy watchmaker? Oh, you're talking about Johnny Unitas. Who says he was a crummy one? I don't know whether he was or not. Football player. Okay. Yeah. Geez. See what you started, Inkheart, Unitas, we fall. It's the other way around. What is it? It's ununited, we fail. I forgot how it goes. Anyway, okay. Let's yeah. Let's talk about some of the stuff that you may need. Movement, a case. The other thing you need is let me see if I got one here I can handle. Yeah, here's one. Is a dial. And a dial is simply, it's a piece of metal and it's got 2 feet on the back, and the 2 feet slip into the face of the movement. Okay. Then you put the hands on, then you put it in a case, and Bob's your uncle. You're done. I mean, they're really not hard to build. This one right here, I managed to break one of the feet, and so I have to get what are called dial dots to make a repair. There are other ways to make repair too. Now, what I was thinking, this group, there are a lot of sort of groups around for people who include real watchmakers. This is just for pretentious ones, the people who have no experience making watches, but say, hey, if I can get the parts, it doesn't look too hard, and I can save a lot of money and have a lot of fun. And I got this initially from people who were subscribers to Watch Art's site. They said, hey, Bill, why don't you try this or try that? And they were right. And it's been a lot of fun. Okay, how does the movement mount in the case? Aha. All right. Let me see if I got one I can show you with. I've only got one case, and it's what you do is this. Okay. This is where you do need a little amount of watchmaking skill. And again, the only ones I'm talking about right now are these big ETAs, which were made originally for pocket watches. And right at the base of the stem, okay, there's a little screw, and you loosen the screw, and out comes the stem, and of course the crown with it. You can see this crown has got the little brass crown on it. And the reason it has a brass crown is it's the crown that came with this particular case. When you buy a case, it comes with a matching crown, or you can buy them on your own. You can buy I bought one recently that included a crown and another stem with it. So I thought, what the heck, I could use that. I wanted one of those onion-shaped crowns for another project, and I wanted a brass crown to go with the brass case. Okay, so what you do is, it's really not hard. You take this stem out, and see that little spot right here? That's where the stem goes in. So you take the back off. By the way, too, there are a lot of different things you can use to take a case back off. I don't like the kind that you open with a case knife. I always have problems with those. Ones with those little bitty micro screws, they're pretty easy in one respect, but it's also very easy to lose the screws. The things I like to work with, I got one of these things right here, and it's got little horns on it that are adjustable. And all you do is simply unscrew the case back. You have this thing right here. You take the case back off like that. You take the stem out of the movement, okay? You put the movement in here, and then you put the stem back through the hole, and that's it. I mean, it's really not that hard. Now, the way to do it, the right way to do it, is that you first put the dial on, and excuse me, you put the dial on, and so what you put in is that you pull the stem out, put it in here. Whoops, let me hold it up here. You just stick it in like this, okay? It goes in a little ways now, but it can't go in very far because it's got this, the stem blocks it. Unscrew the little screw or just loosen it. You don't take it out all the way. Pull it out, it'll go down, put it back in, put the case back on, and you're done. I mean, it's really not that difficult. And the thing I like about it is that you really can learn a lot about watchmaking. And it, guys, there's, if you're making your own cases and you're doing things like that, maybe you've seen, there's a video that shows Roger Smith making his um, making his own case. He takes a hunk of gold and twists it around. You don't have to do that. The cases, you can get the cases in a number of different places. I would really like to find a gold case. I wonder what they probably cost a fortune. But that'd be sort of fun. Find a gold case and then put the rest of it together. Anyway, so it's not that hard. It's inexpensive. I figure about $30 for the case, $30 for the movement, depending on the quality of. Sometimes you'll get a case and it comes with a case with a dial and the hands and everything, and that makes it a lot easier. If you buy the cases, the Chinese cases, it takes them about a month to get to you. They're a lot less expensive, and the dials are fine. My first dial I got from Germany. I got it from a place in Germany, and the reason I got it because it had a enamel face on it, and it was the only one I could find. If you put in dial, enamel dial, and it was the only place I found one. So anyhow, so this is really all that's involved. Now, this is why a company that makes its own movement is got their hands full. And there's a lot more to it. Some of the, if you can buy the case you want, and I was able to find this bronze case that I wanted, and the movement and the hands you want, you can pick out all kinds of hands. On my first one, I had the leaf hands, and I like those. And on this one, I got these blued hands that I like too. Sort of, it was sort of like I said, it was a nautical theme. But you can make any one you want to. You see you can see a really nice watch, a really expensive one, and say, yeah, well, if I get this part and this part, it'll be that, without the sort of the idea that you're It's not a marriage watch. It's just one you're building yourself, and you like that style. And then you can adjust it. This is what the pegwood stick is for. You take the pegwood stick or a toothpick. There's some other tools too. And you can poke that little thing on the regulator back and forth to make it faster or slower. My first watch ran at point 0.3, had an error of point 0.3 seconds after I got finished adjusting it. So you can really have a lot of fun. Okay, hand on lage. Okay, why don't you try polishing by a rotary machine and practice polishing techniques? That's a good idea. I mean, I was thinking of getting a Dremel tool. If I got a Dremel tool, I'd probably just drill right through something. I practice on a lot of different stuff before I actually do it with a watch. Sometimes I don't practice enough, so you gotta be careful. Tourby dial, yeah. Clyde, that's what I got. I got the Tourby dial. The only problem with that was that it was actually it was what I wanted, but it was a problem in that you have here's the face. This side is the face, and there are little places where you have the pinions, little poles that stick out that you put the hands on. And the hands that I wanted on were the hour and a minute hands, but I didn't want the small seconds. And so I had to cut that off, and that became a little tougher than I thought. Um, in fact, I destroyed one of my movements doing that. So, you got to be careful. I did it all wrong for my first watch in one respect, and that is that I should have got something that was, like fit like a glove, but instead I had to go and get something fancy and you know paid for it. But it ended up it was a wonderful watch. I hated to give it away, but that's the way it goes. It was fun. The same thing with this one. God, this one goes too, and it's I really like it, but I promised to somebody, and anyway. Um, okay, why and how? Okay, Don would be impressed. Don? Oh, Don would love something like this. No, I'll try to talk Don into it. Don gets mad at me, I think. Okay. Demands the watch. Okay. I'm not sure what demands is. Uh, regulation. The pinion. Yeah. I mean, basically, here's how you remove a pinion. You take you take a pair of cutters and go clip. The thing is that these things are huge. These, I mean, when you use it on a watch, I went down and got one even bigger for it, and clipped it. Now, I there was one that I ordered, a special one. It's by Europa, and I ordered that, and it's on the way. So I'll be cutting them with that pretty soon. Okay, so let's see. What do you got here? Hand on lodge. Why would you do that? Oh, because the reason you'd want to do hand on lodge would be for to have nice beveled parts and everything in a watch. On the movement side here, you don't have a great deal of on lodge on an ETA or those. Yeah, and the finishing is minimal. This one has pretty good finishing because it came out of another watch. Let me see if I can. I got to get the light just right. It's really hard with this computer, but you can see there, it's got a little kind of pattern on it. What they do is that I think they take all the plates off and then they put their own logo on it, or make it look like it's one of their own, and but that would come later. I wouldn't want to put a logo on it. I took a page from H. Moser's book. They don't have any kind of identifier on it at all. They just have this blank dial, and like this one, it's called a sterile dial. There's no indication of anything. Let's see if I can get this up a little closer. This is, to me, is really a beautiful dial. And like an oaf, I had to break off one of the feet, and so now I got to get a. I ordered the repair for it, and it's on its way. And but those things happen, especially when you're learning, and you got to be pretty careful with this stuff. And a course, or in my case, two courses that in watchmaking, um, they make it sort of fun, and you understand a little more what you're doing. Hey, FB, Demage Wilson was Lamont on. Oh, really? On Sanford and Son? Yeah, I remember Sanford and Son. That was fun. Okay, let's see now. Where are we? Recase. How easy it is to recast a 6498. Now, do you remember do you mean recase or recast? Oh, okay, recase. You mean the one, okay, so let's say you take it out of the one you have. The hardest part is actually, I think, taking well, yeah, if you want to if you want to take it out of another watch and put it in your watch, this one came with a dial on it, and I took the dial off. I mean, somebody had taken it out of the case. It didn't. The hands weren't on it. I'm glad they weren't, because I wanted to put my own one on. And I just popped it off, and I have my own dial for it, so it's not very hard. Most of the things, if Clyde, if you're talking about the watch, I think you don't want to recase it. That's a you got it made. Okay, Pack 31. What's up? Do you lubricate the Chinese movement before and so on? I hear the ST36 need this. Good point. I should. I'll put it that way. Oiling it is not really very easy. The watchmaking course that I had, that the Horological Society of New York had, they have another segment that involves oiling it. I learned enough to know that you have it's lubricating it, really. I don't know if they use something called oils. It's called oil, but it's like, forgot what the name of it is. And you have something that has a special tool for that. And if you don't want to take it apart, what you can do, let me take this over here. The little jewels, little rubies, are actually little holes, and you can just touch the top of those, and that'll do the lubrication. Yeah, I heard about the ST36, and the other good thing about it is these kinds of things. If that's something you're really worried about, you can take it to a local watchmaker for service, because I don't think there's a watchmaker on a planet that doesn't know how to deal with ETA movements. They love ETA movements because they can get parts for it. They're familiar with it, and it's not a problem. Even ones like the one, oh God, what is it? The one in my Ella Raw is called Ella Raw 1520, and let's see, it's called the 1520, but it's really a Pazu 7001, which is now an ETA 7001. And getting work on that turned out to be very easy. People say, well, you're never going to find anyone to work on a El Ra. Well, yeah, you are, if they put in some cheap movement. Bastards. That's one thing I'm still mad about. It turned out, though, to be a really good movement. And the good part about it is that the rest of the watch, they lathered on gold on that thing like it was 2001, when they had the price of gold was like about a tenth of what it is today. So, there were certain things. I still get mad at them for it. But the other thing is and this would be neat, if to try to get some other new watch movements from some other companies other than um, I don't even know if you get them directly from ETA. You get them from third parties who buy them from ETA and sell them to people like us. Maybe you could get a group buy, and so we could buy a bunch of them, like whatever is done by um, a regular watchmaker. If they have say, well, you have to order at least 100 or something like that. Enough people are interested. You get a bunch of people together, and they can order two or three or whatever they want. The other one would be something like, oh yeah, Vasseur. They had manufacturer Vasseur Fleurier. Now those movements, they're like the ones, at least the ones I like, are about $1,500 a pop. Now that's a lot, but boy, you get a really good movement. It's got a little mini rotor in it, and it runs at let me see. I think it's 21,600 rather than the 4 hertz or 3 hertz, I think. And there's all kinds of neat things you can do, and to me, it's really exciting. Bergson makes a set of oilers for dispenser tips. Yeah, 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 you're right. Forbin, Colossus, that's a great idea. There are a lot of things. Another thing I've got on order, they have um, the way that you learn how to put hands on. If you don't have one of these things, you take these pointy tweezers. These are I call them anti-magnetic. They're not exactly anti-magnetic, but they're non-magnetic. They're like wood. They have no magnetic properties. And this is the kind of thing you want to use. And you get a couple of these, and then to put the hour hand on, you have it open a little and put one of these on either side, and put some little bag, and press it down with a bag in between it. So it's really sort of a Rube Goldberg operation doing it that way. But you can do it. I did it with my first one. It worked out fine. And then you push the minute hand down with the back of it, and both techniques work. But they say for some of these smaller ones, like for the second hand and some of these other ones, you want they have these tools that are called hand setting tools, and you push it right in. And I think the same thing is true that Forbin Colossus mentioned, is that you have you need to have a good tool for oiling, and the one that he mentioned sounds like a great tool. By the way, too, free for nothing, you can get the oiler, not oiler, but the oiler points for an ETA 64, 97, or 98. In fact, for any ETA, just go to ETA. You just sort of Google it up, and then the ETA company, you just go down to the movement you want, and they'll have it broken up. They have really great graphics for it. And then you can download it as a PDF file. I've used those things all the time. Another thing I'd mentioned today earlier when Clyde and I were talking was this book, The Beginner's Watchmaker's Book. And like I said, when I first saw it, I really didn't like it because it's not well indexed or anything else. But boy, it's got all the techniques in it, and some of the graphics are exactly what you need. Like this one tells you all what the names of the wheels are and everything and where they go, which isn't the same for all movements, but it's really handy to know. And then in the back here, they've got a website where you can download this book in color as a PDF file, and then it's really easy to find something. You just use the search function in the PDF file, and it's easy to get a hold of. Okay. Okay, had to get the Colt Python. Okay, you're talking about guns now. Boom, boom. All right, so let's see what else is going on. When you push the hands down, do they lock onto the spindle or shaft? Yeah, that's not a dumb question. It's a really good question. Um, yeah, they sort of how to put this. You there's a limitation, and when you push the hour in, you got to put the hour hand in first, and you put that down, and you get it down, and it sets, and then you put the minute hand on top. Now, one of the things you have to do, you have to be sure that they don't touch each other, but it's one of those things. The big thing about it is that you have to really be patient. You have to take your time. And the great thing about that is instead of going through Chrono 24 looking for the next watch I shouldn't buy, but go ahead and do it anyway. I'm going through and working through all the different things on this. One of the things I think you have to be prepared for is like you have to be prepared for things that break, because especially when you're beginning, you're going to break a lot more things. Um, one of the things that is nice to have, I think it's got a smile on it. This is a padded, sort of like a padded stand, and it's a good thing to work on because then like some of the little pinions and things that stick out can sort of rest down into it without hurting it. This thing right here that I have in a smile is a type of clay that is it's like it's magic clay. It's fantastic, and you use it for everything. It's got a little stickum to it, but not total. And there are all kinds of tricks. There's one guy today. He was asking about how do you put on chronograph hand because they're so small. And believe me, even hour and minute hands that look on a big watch like this one, uh, they get small really quickly. And what this guy does, he was talking how you take a piece of masking tape and roll it. For some of us, we're pretty good at rolling, and make it to a little bitty thing, and then you have this sticky side out, and you take the sticky side, and then you stick it on the chronograph wheel of the second hand, or the chronograph hand, or the second hand, and you just do you and then pick it up with that, and then put it over, and then you take a toothpick and then push it in place. There are all kinds of tricks like that, but I thought, for not to make it to be, like, masking tape to solve all your problems, or duct tape in my case, and a sledgehammer, but rather to try to sort of again starting with something simple, and there's these things are super simple. The one thing that you end up getting sooner or later, you need a set of good screwdrivers. If you're using a 64, 97, or 98, you only need the three you need are the red, green, and blue one, because those will fit every screw in it. I got the whole ring. You get a thing like this. Let me show you. Like this, and then you have to match up the head of the screw with the head of the screw you're working on. Now, if you just the only thing you want to do to take out is um, this not the spindle, but the stem. When you put the watch case in, all you need is a red one because the red one fits that particular screw. And you have to be careful about this. This is one thing. I also got a bell jar that I keep over the. I think I got it at Bed Bath and Beyond or someplace like that. But keeping things dust proof is another really important thing because any kind of dust or gunk that gets in there, and you get better at it as you go along. Uh, these little things, I probably need to get more of them. And so when you're working on something, you got it under glass or you got it in a plastic uh, bag, or in this thing, I put it inside the case itself. The case is one of the things that's going to be outside of the watch anyway. Um, I tell you another thing. See if you can see it. If we can move this right here. This thing, this case is the best investment. It was like 89 bucks at Auto Fry. Best it's a desktop watchmaker's desk. So you just put it on top of your desk and then you're up working like this on it. Uh, Fantastic. And like I say, 89 bucks compared, I mean, that's not the tax on half the watches we buy. Another thing too, of course, is going to be your bands. There are all kinds of bands you can get. Right now, I've been getting leather bands, either plain leather or ones with like a gator print on them or something like that. The reason for that is the really nice band, beside costing a lot. There you can get some overseas, some really good prices, but they take a long time. So I've been getting these other ones so I can sort of move ahead with a project. And these I got from a place called, I think it's called Panatime. They sent me the wrong ones initially. Let me, what's the name of it? Yeah, Panatime. You guys probably have your own sources and places you like to deal with. Reason I like dealing with Panatime is that they have really a lot of combinations. The ones I've been dealing with are 22 millimeters or 22 or 24. I'm not sure which, I forgot, but they have all of the right sizes. They sent me the wrong size by mistake, and in fact, they sent me the wrong colors, the wrong ones. They were for somebody else, but they immediately sent me the right ones, and then they sent me a prepaid envelope to send the other ones back. So they were really good about that. So that's why I like that company. But like I said, you guys probably have your own. Okay, I believe the word is swedging. Not sure about the diameter of the holes in the heads and whether they are vary, but I've seen the rather cheap plunger grabber tool thing for watch hands on Amazon. Um, yeah, I, the ones I got from Auto Fry, and the reason I got them from Auto Fry, they're probably more expensive there, but I had taken their course, and the watch time course. They get all of their stuff from there. It was really good service. Most of the things, what you really need to do is plan ahead some, and you can buy these. There's something called Ali Mail or AliExpress, AliExpress. I think it's connected up with Alibaba somehow, but you can get some stuff from directly from China that way, and they're really good stuff. Takes a long time, plan about a month ahead, but then once you get them, you get some really good things. I've got one with it's a 6497 or 98, one of the two, and it's a clone of one too. It's ST36 that has they put a swan neck regulator on it, so I'll be able to play with that. That's sort of neat. Okay, well, listen, we can, sort of like maybe you could have a weekly video or a weekly chat on this kind of thing. Um, uh, okay. Look, so anyway, this is something I think that maybe we could have sort of maybe like a weekly chat on or something like that, whatever you guys want to do. So if you're interested, let me know. Just put the comments, send the comments into the YouTube comment section. I've been reading all your comments here. Thank goodness I can read it with this setup. So anyway, if you're interested, let me know. And if you've got any questions that I can answer, let me know. If you have any answers for the questions I have, you can bring those back too. Anyway, so until next time, we'll little screws, yeah. Oh, by the way, Forbin Colossus said the hardest thing is the little screws, the little gears, the little everything that flies off a watch. Um, this is why if you're working on a watch, you go deep in the table. Don't do it on the edge. Go deep. Go deep. All right. Hope to see you again soon.